Hi guys, my name is Lena. I'm a nutritionist and health coach. Welcome to my series, How to Build Healthy Habits 101. If you have not yet watched all the other videos, please go back and watch those first. You'll learn a lot and then we can move on to this part, okay? Today we are talking about snacking. Quick disclaimer, all of my videos are minimally edited, just recorded by me, so bear with me on the lack of perfect quality, and grab the value from it all, okay? We're gonna just dive in. So first things first, when it comes to snacking, it has a really negative connotation. When people say, oh, I'm a big snacker, I'm a this, I'm a that, that's my problem, that's why I can't get this underway, it's the snacks that get me. Snacks aren't inherently the worst thing in the world, but I do encourage you to go back, watch the balanced plate video, and watch the fluff with veggies video, really dial in and see how you should be building your plates. And that should help minimize snacking, or at least this inherent need to constantly snack and constantly graze, right? So if we're having about 3 balanced meals a day, our hunger levels should be pretty managed, right? We should be able to kind of carry over into the next meal on its own. Now, the big time when we see that most people need a snack is going to be between that lunch and dinner, around that 3 o'clock hour, okay? So if you eat an earlier lunch at, let's say 12, you'll probably feel hunger around 3 or 4, and you'll need something to carry you over until dinner. So that's when one of these snacks comes in handy. Another time that we see snacking being really kind of high and normal is right after dinner, or a couple hours after dinner, later into the evening, and things like that. So we'll talk about how to tackle both of those. If you do feel like you just cannot stop snacking, I need you to dial in to your meals and go back up to your meals. Make sure you're having 3 balanced meals a day. That's step 1, and that should help you easily kind of not need to constantly graze, snack, whatever, okay? Now let's dive in. So in that 3 to 4 o'clock, or whenever you feel like you really need a snack kind of range, what should you be leaning on? Let's talk about mindless snacking first. You're not hungry, but you want something next to you. That's when you go for veggies, just veggies. This is something that you can snack on mindlessly. They're really high in water, really high in volume, high in nutrients. This can be your mindless snack. I like to keep things like grape tomatoes and sliced mini peppers and things like that, or even sliced cucumbers with everything but the bagel seasoning out on the counter. I like to keep these out on the counter, or let's say you're working in an office, out on your desk or in the break room, so that if you do want to mindlessly graze on something, you're not first reaching for chocolate, right? You're not reaching for the first thing you see. This is the first thing you see, okay? So if you're grazing on that, you're also making sure that you're hydrated, again, well nourished and all those things. So that's for mindless snacking, okay? It can also be out of snacking out of hunger. If you're a volume eater, then you can pair this with a more satiating snack if you are actually hungry, okay? When you're actually hungry, what do? Protein and fat are extremely important when it comes to a snack that keeps you satisfied and full. So protein sources are going to be things like Greek yogurt, nuts, protein bars, boiled eggs, beef jerky, things like that. One of my favorites and easiest to balance is gonna be Greek yogurt. Also nuts. Nuts are high in fat and protein, and they have plenty of fiber, and yes, they have carbs in them too, which is not by any means a bad thing, but they'll keep you full. I love to pair mine with some dark chocolate chips to really satisfy my sweet tooth too, and that's why I like protein bars. I find that a lot of people have a chocolate craving midday. If we can match that with something filling, satiating, nourishing, then great, let's do it. So these are one of my favorites. I love RX bars. Really natural ingredients, really whole ingredients. And then they have RX bar minis as well, which I really like, because if you just want a taste, but you also want it filling, but really it's a mindless kind of graze, go ahead and pair it with a veggie and go for something smaller. You could also make this like your lunch dessert. So with lunch, you have something sweet, and this could be a nice little mini. You're satiated, you're full off of that meal, but then you can do a mini RX bar just for the sweet taste. Also see nothing wrong in pairing like a piece of chocolate with any of this, right? Like real chocolate, not dark chocolate chips, not whatever, but like a real piece of chocolate. With any of these things, now it's just important that you're actually satiated, nourished, so that you're not trying to get full off of that, okay? With Greek yogurt, you can go ahead and pair that with a more fun kind of carb. If you have like a salty tooth, So you could do a cup of Greek yogurt, and then you could do something salty. Same thing with your nuts. It's kind of like a salty sweet. I feel like I just rambled for a long time. Oh, let's talk late night snacking. So this is gonna kind of all be midday, right? Late night snacking is it can go two ways. It can be out of not eating enough earlier in the day. That happens sometimes, but if you've already gotten that habit underway, then you know your late night snacking isn't coming out of hunger. It's coming out of habit, boredom, emotional eating, stress eating, or just wanting to relax. So you're using that food to carry you. This is when I'll say sips, not chips. Okay, so I trademarked this term about a year ago, the same time I trademarked Fluff with Veggies. We're coming up on our anniversary. I think we just passed it. But when that evening rolls around and you're not hungry and you just want something comforting to sip on, sips, or to munch on or whatever, sips, not chips. Keep something in your hand. You already have a habit of eating chips, right? Like this. Like when you're eating chips, it's like this, right? You already have a habit of eating popcorn. You already have a habit of eating ice cream or whatever it is. Replace that habit. Pick up the tea. Pick up the low sugar hot cocoa. Pick up the turmeric gold milk, right? And sip on that. My favorite things to sip on are just like a normal herbal tea or Organifi gold like tea. It's like more rich. You make it with almond milk. It's nice and creamy, but it's still really low sugar, low calorie. And then they have a chocolate one too that's like a nice low sugar hot cocoa. And I'll link those below. I mean, I am affiliated with them, but I really do love them. And you can make your own low sugar hot cocoa at home. That's my big tip on evening snacking, is that make sure first that you've eaten enough that day. And if you have, go ahead and grab a cup of tea. It's gonna give you the same satisfaction. Now it's just about switching that habit, which isn't easy from the start all the time, but it's simple and it's possible, right? It's not always easy, but it's simple. It's a simple idea, right? That doesn't make it easy. You still need to get up and do it. But if you can put your teapot on the kettle and know what you're gonna drink and have a plan, then at least you're one step ahead of yourself. Quick overview, we have mindless snack options, balanced snack options for when you're actually hungry, and then a sips not chips option here too. I call this smart snacking, right? We wanna be smart, we wanna be really mindful. It's not restricting. Like let's say you want to mindlessly snack and you're like, no, I wanna mindlessly snack on goldfish and only goldfish. It's not restricting to say, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna balance that with some of this and eat less of this and more of that. It's not restricting, it's practical nutrition. You're making a practical decision for yourself, right? That works for your goals instead of against them. And that's why it's so important that you go back and watch the other videos, because it always comes back down to mindset. All right, so that's about it here. I'm gonna keep it nice and short. I wanna take this back to how to make it easy. So in the next video, we're gonna do a quick, just like 5-minute thing on how to make building new habits around what you're eating easy, because we did just tackle a lot on food in the last 3 videos. I wanna tackle how to make it easy. So we'll cover that next. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and comment if you have any questions. And I'll have all the resources that I talked about in the description box below. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video very soon.